When initially designing a sporting facility within Melbourne, what are the key considerations you take into the design?
Yeah, well, the client will often tell you a few key factors. So the first thing is what sports do they intend to be played there. So with, for instance, a cricket ground, sometimes they might want to have an AS track on there as well, or they might want to play Australian rules football on it, or even have a soccer field in ground as well. So we need to know what different sports might be played in that location. Another big factor is capacity. How many people do you want to be able to fit in the venue? So MCG's got 100,000 seats, that's a very big venue. Because that determines what you can do with things like roof and structure, but it also tells you how much food outlets do you have to have in there, how many toilets do you need to have in there. So they're major determining factors in terms of the initial planning.
And also where it is.
Yeah.
If you've got 100,000 people coming in and sitting down, you have to be able to get them there, get them out safely, quickly.
Yeah. In Melbourne, it's virtually impossible to park your car these days. So if you're going to have a major facility, it needs to be near a train station, which is this is Richmond Station here.
Yeah.
Quite a big station, and then Flinders Street's just up here.
So, do you think there is an adequate amount of facilities to accommodate the Melbourne sporting needs?
Well, I think I would say the answer to that is probably no, and that's based on certain desires of various people, especially in the AFL, to have a new stadium where they can play sport in Melbourne, Victoria. Again, they look at things like if you know your AFL teams, like when Collingwood play Richmond at the MCG, they have big crowds come. But when, say, the Melbourne Footy Club play Gold Coast Suns at the MCG, they don't have any fans, so they barely fill the MCG, and the MCG loses money for Melbourne to play Gold Coast at home. So the organisers think, well, actually, it'd be better to have a new facility for smaller teams to play at that might only have 50,000 seats, and it's more viable to operate that way. So there are conversations going on about having a new AFL venue in Melbourne, but they don't know where to put it, or who will pay for it, or own it.
And some of that's about how it feels to be in there when there's a game on. If you're with 50,000 in the MCG, it feels pretty empty.
Yeah, it was only like 40,000 out game. It's pretty like spread out.
Yeah.
But if you stand across the river from Amy Park when it's full, you can hear people cheering.
Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere with 30,000. So.
Yeah. And that's one of the nice things about Amy Park is that it's generally pretty well at capacity when there's two local teams playing, and it just feels a bit more exciting to be there because it's full. In terms of having new infrastructure, often that's driven by if we get to host a major event, like let's say we wanted to host a Commonwealth game or the Olympic Games, there'll probably be a need to build more sports facilities. Or even we were looking a few years ago at hosting a FIFA World Cup. That sounds a bit bizarre, but Australia did put in a submission to host the FIFA World Cup, in which case our whole country would need to build stadiums. So it depends, and having a big event locally would help drive more facilities.
Yeah. Are the facilities that Melbourne currently have suitable for a diverse range of the public's needs, like parking, disability access, or whether kind of?
It's very mixed.
In terms of disability needs, that's very highly regulated now, so you can't actually build any new building that doesn't cater for, say, wheelchair-bound people. So that's sort of built into our law that when we do new facilities, it has to be accessible.
Yeah.
In terms of parking,
It's just not really possible in the city. There's a lot of parking at outer train stations, so a lot of
Yeah.
people will drive from their house
Yeah.
to the train station, come into Richmond off Flinders Street and walk to the venue.
Yeah.
But if you've ever tried to get a park in Richmond when there's a game on, or even drive down Hunt
Yeah.
Road, that big north-south street,
Yeah.
you can hardly drive, let alone find a park.
Yeah.
Depends where you are. I mean, I'm not sure what it's like where you guys are on the Sunshine Coast, but when I was in Adelaide, worked in Adelaide for about a year. Parking's not so much an issue. They don't have as many people, and it's generally quite possible to get a car park somewhere. In Melbourne, it's a nightmare, and it's expensive as well. So I think there's a huge need to have better public transport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So considering Melbourne's current sporting facilities, which do you think best serves the public needs? Like, which one would you pick, or which one do you think is the best?
Do we have to be biased? Probably.
Yeah, I think we do. Maybe.
Yeah. I like Amy Park just because of that atmosphere thing.
Yeah.
Because it's, the grand final's great in
Yeah.
the MCG, but as Naomi said, just a local soccer game will get a great
Yeah.
feeling at Amy Park.
It's also really close to Richmond Station and trams, so it's quite
And the
easy
river.
to get to. And the river, you could sail a canoe up there if you wanted to. I actually haven't, confession, I haven't actually seen a proper game like at Amy Park. We had a touch rugby game there just before it opened. But my family went. They had an Asian Federation Championship, Asian League match between Iran and like Bahrain or something like that, and it was just people going off. They were so practically out of control.
Yeah.
A lot of Persians and Bahrainians in there, and they said it was a fantastic atmosphere. So yeah, we'll take it back.
Okay. So, what is Melbourne's largest issue in regards to its current sporting facilities?
Largest issue.
Maybe transport.
Probably transport. I think it could well be transport. Yeah, I think also just in terms of an operator, they would say attendance. Like if you've got room enough for 20,000 people to come, you want 20,000 people to come because then you make the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have a lot of venues kind of sitting there empty. And ownership, like the AFL would like to own. The AFL play a lot of games at the MCG, but they don't own the MCG, so they just basically rent it. They would like to own a facility. So, for instance, Dockland Stadium, Etihad Stadium, in the future they plan to own that venue. But I think Will's probably right. I think transport putting in our
Yeah. So, as an architect, what recommendations would you make to improve this?
I think the future MCG deck will go a long way to improving that.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's issues. A lot of people come in from the eastern suburbs. They come in at Richmond. Then because the MCG is located so close to the rail corridor, you get these kind of bottlenecks in and around here at the top end of the bridge. Being able to disperse people all around 360 degrees around that venue would really help. And it basically just gives more public space. I think that will help. I think that will help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big. If you're just walking to the MCG for a game, you don't think about things like, oh well, what if we made a big platform over the railroad?
Yeah.
And I guess that's our job, looking at photos and pictures like this and looking at the big
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
How do you get 50,000 people outside the MCG in a way that's comfortable for
Yeah.
everybody and safe?
Looking towards the future, how do you think Melbourne sporting facilities will cater for the growing number of attendances at games?
Well, there's a slight issue with that question, and that's we want there to be growing attendances at games, but nowadays, especially big sport like cricket and footy, is very much structured around broadcasting rights.
Yeah.
So, like even right down to the scheduling, like what time they play matches, is all done to cater for the broadcaster. And the reason being for that is more and more people actually want to watch sport at home, where it's comfortable, on TV. So part of the challenge as architects is to make going to see live sport as the better option, and as enticing as we possibly can do it. And the way we do a lot of that, we go about that is to try and make the experience at the venue as much like the experience at home. So providing good options for food, for drinks, having things like bars, more comfortable seats, like even right down to how far apart are the seats, how wide are the aisles, can people actually move in and out of their seats? Can people see screens, like is there good view to the score, like do they want to know what the score is? I've forgotten what the question was, but yes, we definitely want more attendance.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I think it's more about optimising the existing facilities that we have, making sure as many people as possible are interested in coming. And one thing that does hold people back is that they can't get there easily on the weekend because you sit in the car for half an hour before you can get the car.
And it's pretty tricky because you're always going to sell out the grand final.
Yeah.
And the rest of the year, if you doubled the capacity of the MCG, you'd have 40,000 sitting in at 200,000. So
Yeah.
it's pretty.
What they do, I don't know how much you guys know about cricket. We do a lot of work for cricketing organisations, but like Test cricket, it's a very long game. You have to go for a whole day, and it's boring. So now they play something called Big Bash 2020, and the idea is that happens in a much shorter time. And the way they've designed it is that often it's in the evening over summer, like it might start at 5 or 6 p.m. The idea is that you can come out of your office and go in and watch 2 hours of intense cricket, and then go home. So I think even the way sports run their codes is changing to adapt to people's needs. But footy's quite a long game too. That's sort of over 3 hours.
So, how do you think Melbourne's current sporting infrastructure compares to other major cities that are well known for sporting venues?
Pretty favourably,
Really
I think.
good, I would have thought. Yeah.
Because it's all so close together, there's quite a diversity. You've got tennis and a rectangular stadium, a big cricket and football stadium. It's all pretty rosy, and the landscape is good too. Lots of nice outdoor parks. And at the end of the day, the public transport, while its capacity probably could be improved, it's actually not unreasonable to use.
Yeah.
They do match the sporting events with more trains and more trams and that sort of thing. So it's this whole city sort of revolves around the sporting culture in a way, and that's pretty nice.
I've worked with Tennis Australia quite a bit, and as you know, we know there are 4 Grand Slams each year. There's one in New York, and there's one in London, and one in Paris, and one in Melbourne. And for a long time, people have been saying, "Oh, why do we still play the Australian Open? Why is there still a Grand Slam in Australia? Because it's so hot. They come out in January and it's hot, and it's a long way for the players to come.
Jet lag.
They get jet lagged. They're very needy. They're very precious. We have to look after the elite tennis players. But one of the reasons they like to come out to Melbourne is because everything's close. Like the actual Melbourne Park is very close to the city where all the hotels are.
Yeah.
So like Wimbledon in London. Wimbledon's a long way out of the middle of London. And Queens in New York, again, it's a long way. It's not Manhattan, it's a fair way out of New York. And Roland Garros, which is the venue they use in Paris. Again, that's outside of Paris. That's like getting on a train in the middle of Paris and going as far out to the end of the line. So those venues are actually a long way out of the centre of their respective cities, whereas Melbourne Park is right in the centre of the city. So I think that's one of those strengths.
Alright, using Melbourne's current sporting infrastructure, do you think they would be able to hold a big sporting event such as Olympics, Commonwealth Games? Why not?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we had a Commonwealth Games here in 2006. Yeah. Google that.
Maybe
Six.
Yeah, yeah, I think we could have an Olympics here with relatively little major disturbance. So yeah, I think it's actually got great capacity to deal with major.
And final question. As an architect, if you could design the perfect sporting facility for Melbourne, what would it be like?
I don't know. Perfect sporting facility. Can it be a golf course? Because that'd be pretty fun. we looked at doing a golf club last year actually. And I reckon that would be a pretty fun job because we met with golf course designers and they got to spend their whole working life travelling around really nice parts of the world going move dirt here, move dirt there and making greens and making rounds. They all had really nice watches and great tans and I thought, that'd be pretty cool. But in terms of actually a venue like a sports centre, I think working on an arena or a rectangular stadium of less than 30,000 capacity is a really nice scale. Obviously with grounds as big as the MCG, you've got to deal, it's such a big venue that you can't do a nice kind of sculptural thing that easily because it's just too big.
Yeah.
So actually having a smaller capacity helps you to solve some of the issues that arise with spanning the field and covering seats and all that sort of stuff. So my first answer would be a golf course because I think that'd be really nice, a golf club. My second answer would be maybe a 25,000 seat indoor arena.
And I guess in both cases we're always looking to make the experience for people visiting it the best.
Yeah.
So a small arena for all the reasons we've discussed is great because you can do things like make a roof with no columns, get into people's sight lines,
Yeah.
or a golf course where you have this lovely 18 holes to walk around and provide little